California's raging park fire is consuming 5,000 acres an hour. A raging inferno whipped by winds, California's park fire continued its relentless march through bone-dry wilderness north of Chico, burning 350,012 acres as of Saturday night, Cal Fire said. The blaze is the seventh largest wildfire in California's history. The fire has forced thousands of people to leave their homes in Butte, Tehama, Lassen and Shasta counties, and has destroyed 130 structures, with this number likely to increase. It's been growing 5,000 acres an hour since the inception or the ignition of this incident started, Cal Fire Incident Commander Billy C. said at a Saturday morning briefing. Okay, just to put that into perspective, we're looking at almost 8 square miles an hour this thing is taking out. It's going to be another dynamic day. Temperatures were lower and winds lighter on Saturday compared to recent days, allowing firefighters to finally achieve some containment. The fire went from 0 containment Saturday morning to 10% containment by the evening. Despite this good news, the fire is still expected to be a long-term event. This fire is going to burn for another couple weeks for sure, Cal Fire spokesperson Robert Foxworthy told SF Gate on Saturday afternoon. Even if the fire stopped tomorrow, there would still be weeks of work to do. This is a long-duration fire. On Friday, the fire crossed Highway 36 near Paynes Creek and impacted the small communities of Paynes Creek, Sky Ranch and Manton, Cal Fire's Jed Gaines said in the Saturday morning operational briefing. We had structure defense going on there last night, with a lot of good work, Gaines said. We had to wake up 6 strike teams out of the hotels last night to help with structured defense. So, there's a lot of folks out there that have been double-shifted. Foxworthy said the fire ran through Paynes Creek, but he could not provide specifics on structure damage. I don't know if it ran through Manton, he said. Last I had heard, they had stopped it before it got to Manton, but that was a couple hours ago. Crews are working on building fire lines around the Highway 36 to prevent the fire from advancing into Shingletown, Cal Fire said. Butte Meadows off Highway 32 is another area crews are focused on. The fire hasn't jumped over there yet, Foxworthy said. Butte Meadows is one of the threatened communities on the other side of Highway 32, so there are crews in that area prepping should it go that way. The park fire ignited Wednesday afternoon in Chico's Bidwell Park, one of the largest municipal parks in the nation. Officials said Thursday the fire may have been started by arson, and a suspect was arrested in the case. Southerly winds pushed flames to the north of Chico into the Ishi Wilderness, a remote area that was difficult for firefighters to access. The fire has seen explosive growth ever since it started. UCLA climate scientist Daniel Swain said on X Friday night that it's likely to become among top 3 largest in California history. Swain wrote, I would be astonished if final footprint was less than 500 acres, and it's possible it could be double that. At the Saturday morning briefing, Cal Fire laid out objectives and said the goal is to prevent the fire from pushing east of Highway 99, south of Highway 44 and Shingletown, north of the Skyway, a road that goes into Paradise, and west of Skyway to Humbug Summit. This is the overall huge objective, Foxworthy explained. This is the worst-case scenario. The fast-moving blaze has triggered a continuous stream of evacuations in Butte and Tehama counties, and more recently, Shasta County. There are about 4,400 people under evacuation orders in unincorporated Butte County, as well as about 400 people evacuated in Chico, Megan McMahon, a spokesperson for the Butte County Sheriff's Office, told SF Gate. The entire town of Paradise has fallen under an evacuation warning. Paradise was devoured by the 153,336-acre campfire in 2018. The devastating blaze destroyed more than 18,000 structures and killed 85 people. Foxworthy said the park fire has passed through Cohasset and Forest Ranch, and these are communities that haven't seen a big wildfire in recent history. He said portions of these communities have burned, though he doesn't have specific information on where or the number of structures that were destroyed in each location. There are still areas that haven't burned in those areas, he said. Until the fire is out, there's still going to be areas that are threatened. As the fire spreads, officials announced Saturday that Lassen Volcanic National Park is closed. Visitors have been evacuated from all campgrounds and reservations have been canceled, the park announced. All park employees have been evacuated from park housing and their homes in the community, most staying in hotels. The fire ignited amid triple-digit temperatures that continued into Friday, and the heat combined with gusty southerly winds and low humidity levels contributed to the fire's rapid growth. Saturday offered hope that firefighters might begin to get the fire under control as cooler temperatures, higher humidity levels, and lighter winds are all expected today. The fire conditions are definitely not as critical as yesterday and the day before, Bill Roche, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Sacramento, said Saturday. Temperatures on Saturday are expected to be 15 to 20 degrees cooler than they were in previous days. The wind should be calmer and the humidity 20% to 30% higher, Roche said. These more favorable weather conditions are expected to continue for a few days. Many factors have contributed to the park fire's extraordinarily fast growth, one of them being that the fire is burning in an area where the vegetation hasn't been thinned out by a significant wildfire in recent history. There's a high fuel load, abundance of grass, said CAL FIRE's Scott Weiss at the Saturday morning meeting. There's areas out there that have no fire history, a lot of dead and downed trees. The heat signature is huge. Yesterday burned 150,000 acres. Brent Wachter, a fire meteorologist at the U.S. Forest Service's Geographic Area Coordination Center in Redding, told SF Gate on Friday that the 2021 Dixie Fire that consumed nearly 1 million acres of wilderness, as well as the Camp Fire, missed the area where the park fire is burning. The vegetation is more dense, it doesn't have big holes in it, and this allows the fire to get up into the canopy, and that allows the embers to travel further, Wachter said.